I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Monday. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Trying to fix this little glitchy on the screening. There we go. Happy Friday to everybody, TGIFF. We've made it to this big weekend ahead. Big games on Sunday for the NFL. It's going to be a lot of fun watching the Bills and the Eagles go out there. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to watch my football videos coming out this weekend. Tease the Bills and the Eagles. What are we doing here? Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. That being said, though, it should be a fun little day on Sunday. Interesting card tomorrow. Man, we are out of UFC already. I guess they're prepping for the Saudi Arabia card. That'll be the following week, but all good. It's a huge college basketball day tomorrow, but man, tonight is the night. We got all kinds of things going on here. It's a small card, super duper small, which is usually where we do all our damage. And despite it being, a 5-game NHL card, we're still going to come out with 3 plays on this one with some plus money opportunities in 2 of them. We're going to get into college hoops. We've got 3 plays over there as well. And then we've got 2 plays in the NBA. And look, it's a grind. Every day's a grind. We got to go through this thing on the regular. For me, though, I hear a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm not going to, I'm going to save. I want to get ready for tomorrow." Look, it's a daily thing. Money doesn't sleep. There's no time off for your money. You got to get out there and take advantage of cards like this because you don't think the books are doing the same damn thing. 150 games tomorrow in college hoops. You don't think they're sitting there going, "Let's make sure we really scrub those lines tomorrow." Of course they are, which means they're vulnerable tonight. And that's why we're going to go get after it as we do. Hopefully you guys had some fun. A couple of live streams this week. We had the soccer live stream on Wednesday. We're looking to do it again next Wednesday. So if you guys get the opportunity, it's the last day of group play in the Champions League. So we'll get out there. I think there's like 13 games next Wednesday afternoon, which is crazy. And they pop off and it's 2 hours and it's done. But we had a nice little NBA stream last night that delayed the game and the Milwaukee Bucks. I had to think about who was it for a second there. But we covered a lot of action last night. It had a lot of ground that we covered last night between hockey and basketball and hockey, and basketball, and more hockey. So nonetheless, busy weekend ahead. Going to try to get in the lab and put some videos together for us here so that we have some action lined up for player props and what I think are best bets for the NFL. We'll look across the board. We're going to start to capitalize on the silver and gold level memberships out there. So we appreciate all you guys. We've been sharing across the board. The community tab, generally open all the time. Putting some members only plays out there for all level memberships. But if you look at the silver and gold level memberships, those are designed for specific plays for Saturdays and Sundays, weekdays that there isn't a live show going on at that particular time. So we're going to look to continue to move forward in that direction. So if you guys have become a member or you've been gifted a membership, man, I know there's been a ton of gifted memberships. Got to get back in there and upgrade silver and gold time. You don't have to, but you support us. We'll support you. We'll give you some unique plays. We're going to work on some special member-only live streams coming up as well. So get ready for all of that. All kinds of things coming down the pipe. So time to get to the business and get into the business. Let's go. You guys know the deal here. We need your help. Very important. You take some time to hit that thumbs up button. We need the thumbs up buttons out there. And we need them on a regular basis. That's how YouTube promotes us. And that's how we continue to grow. And you guys know my story. The growth leads to bringing on new sharp bettors. Those new sharp bettors will come and ideally share their best bets. The more eyes we have working on the card, the more money we're going to make. And it all starts by closing the chat, hitting the thumbs up. Then you pop that chat back open and we'll get back to work. Please do me that favor right now. Hit that thumbs up for us. Appreciate it. Okay, that's all it takes. Split second. You even get a little video to encourage you to do it. A little music to hit that thumbs up button too here. Where else are you going to find that? Come on now, let's go. And I appreciate everybody that is ready to go today. Again, small card, so shouldn't take us too darn long to get through this thing, although we still have plenty of plays. So let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the brisk pace as always. Let's start with a recap. We got to analyze what worked for us yesterday. And the answer is nothing. Not a damn thing worked for it. No, that's not entirely true. I just like that scene from, is that Necessary Roughness? Let's analyze what's been working for us. Anyways, kind of a split day across the board. You know, we got the Anaheim Ducks at plus 136. And I don't think I heard too many other people talking about the Anaheim Ducks. A lot of Pittsburgh minus 1.5s. Not a lot of Anaheim Ducks. Seattle under 5.5. What do we talk about? The intersecting zeros. The Capitals win. See what's going on now. What you doing up there? What you doing up there with this little grainy, grizzly thing? I wonder if it has to do with that. Not really. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty darn good. Okay. Sadly, we did not cash the under 5.5 in that Edmonton-Vancouver game. Despite the Connor McDavid factor out there, I had a feeling that was an Edmonton spot. I had that feeling. And Utah scores 4 goals on the Minnesota Wild. The Wild do us dirty. They do nothing. They get shut out, skunked. So we lost. And we went 2-2. College hoops, we cashed the over 146.5. Easily cashed. It was an overtime game. We got 171 in that Fairfield game. We got busted up by Illinois. They got busted up. You know, I said Maryland's got to show it to me. Had their not one true road test win, and they got it yesterday. So Illinois comes up with that win. And then the late night special was not a special at all. Utah Valley did bust up Cal Baptist as the best team in that conference. They are rolling. Kind of a unique, little, kind of a similar spot tonight. I'm tripping on my tongue. The NBA, we got Portland plus 7.5. Outright winners. Busted up Orlando Magic. Do you believe in Magic? We did not. The call there was probably the best one of the night. They're focusing on minutes. Portland's focusing on points. Big difference out there in managing those players back into the rotation. The Bulls got busted up, 131-106 by Golden State. It all rested on our 3-leg player prop parlay. Scotty Barnes comes out. He gets his over 20.5 points for us. Christian Braun comes out. He gets over 11.5 points for us. All we need is our guy Voos to get over 10.5 rebounds. We're cashing 6-1. It's the difference of being down 2 units or being up 5 units on the day. He gets the 6-pack. Does not get the 10.5. And that's how the day ended. So, disappointing. It's funny how that works sometimes. You know, I mean, it is what it is. We're still having a strong week, but man, he had just gotten... He had like 5 at halftime. He didn't do shit in the second half. And I guess it was because they were getting blown out. I guess. I'm not going to give him a pass. I'm pissed. That was the big difference for us in a big day or a down day. And it was just 5 rebounds away. But we live to fight another day. Fire bullets. Keep it rolling. Keep building this thing. You guys know the deal. Get the pen and paper out right now. We're going to go through this card. We got the best in the business assembled here, ready to give their best bets. Take your notes. Look for future look-ahead spots. You never know. Somebody might drop a Pegasus play in there for tomorrow's horse racing, if that's something that tickles your fancy. I think I said that the other day, and someone was like, I've never heard that. You've never heard tickle your fancy. Anyways, on we go. And of course, put your best bets in the chat so we can talk about them. Here's our guy, Jover. 99.4%. First comment ratio, J.O. Going Tampa Bay, Chicago. First period over 1.5. We know Chicago and those first period overs have been dynamite. So shout out to J.O. looking to get it capitalize on that little sneaker. Juicy now, though, J.O. I think it's like minus 150 or something like that. So it's getting up there. But it's been firing, of course. Joe W's in the house. Rick J says LaMelo ruled out. You know, I have a feeling tonight I got the CLB. Last night I did not. Remember, we were on the screen and I was talking about not all of them, but a bunch of plays moved against me. Tonight's a different story. I think we're going to be on the right side of some of these. We'll see. Stop Geo Engineers in the house. Says, hell yeah, we're in here. Let's go. Good luck tonight, everybody. And he likes a little Ja Morant. Over 22.5 points for our guy. Stop Geo Engineering. Rick J was going to be on his threes. Nasty Nate says the Hornets game is off the board. That's because the Hornets just pulled the old clusterfuck and took everybody out of the lineup. That's exactly why it's off the board. That's where I think I'm going to have some CLV. That's where I think I'm going to have it. Let's see. We'll see it when we get there. We'll keep it a surprise. We'll see it when we get there. Nobody needs to ruin the surprise just yet. Rick J says plus 255 Kings in-game parlay given in chat yesterday. Cash. There's our guy. Cash. There's my man smoking beers. Jay Peasy. What up, motherfuckers? Let's go, Jay Peasy. Lauren Dorian. Appreciate you. Sorry, I'm tripping on my own tongue. But good evening, Lauren. And stars minus 1.5. I like that play. I like it a lot. Shout out to AOD. This is a huge sports weekend on tap. It was fun spending time with my guy last night. Cocktails, couple shots, couple bets, couple cashers, Keith. Appreciate you, man. AOD says sports money. Chris Ellis says drill, baby, drill. Let's go, you guys. Time to get to work. AOD's ready to punch in and get to work. Trisha M's here. Trisha M, sadly, no Cats action tonight. Peter Grassi is rocking with us. And there's Caleb Daniels, the $5 dono. Says thoughts on former Dallas running back, Tashard Choice, 2008. You ask me, I'll tell you. I'm not a Dallas fan. And specifically in that era, I'm not a Dallas fan. Look, guy's a journeyman. Spent a lot of time on a lot of good teams. I don't know. I like the size. Obviously, he was would you call him? I know you asked yesterday about the role players in the NBA. Would you call him a role player? Obviously, this guy likes him. Miami. My thoughts are Miami seems to get some good running backs. Or at least they used to. The Hurricanes, that is. Miami U. I guess that's all I have to think about that. Yeah. It was back when the fullback was popular, right? Was it fullback? I think he was more of the fullback, wasn't he? The game changed. The game evolved on him and zipped him out of the it's a utility role. Not a lot of utility players. Got to be a special teams player if that's going to be the case. But didn't he play for I know he was with the Bills for a minute. Colts. Because wasn't it around the Andrew Luck era? I can't remember. He wasn't high on my radar. He's a fullback. That's what I think. Caleb, appreciate you rocking. Squiz is in the house here. Gonzo's ready to roll. There's our guy, Subhuman Gaucho. Rick J says, spirits in your home showing up on camera. Maybe that is the case. Maybe they got some bodies in the back or something. Robert McCormick's ready. Lauren says, I don't get why people don't hit the like button because they're selfish and they're lazy. And it only takes a second, but it does help us out. It takes a lot of work to put these shows on. That's all I'm saying. If you don't remind people forget, I can understand forgetting, but it's so important. It's the way we grow. way we move this thing. There's Perky. Perky's in the house. Top Perk man. Champion downhill skier, if you didn't know. Nicholas Handy's ready to rock with us. Billy Eagle Flyer. Ron Young. Derek B. Got some CLV with the Hornets game under 220 and a half. It's now 217 and a half. Let's go. Ramon Scott. He's running so hot. He likes having his fancy tickled. I forgot who it was that said they'd never heard that before. And I was like, really? Maybe I'm old. Maybe it's because I'm old that I can recognize that here. I'm not sure. Not that old. Rick Chase's Friday Ramon has arrived. Man, he's ready to fire. You know, he's running so hot. He's Ramon Scott. Okay. We're going to get to work. We're going to get firing on this game here. First game on the books here. Nice little NHL schedule. I like when they start at 7:30. I like to see the start of the game. Very first puck drop. And usually when we're getting out of here at 7:10, I don't get to see that. So we got the Flyers and we've got the Islanders. We've got, I know it was Fedotov and Sorokin, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get my goalie page up here. I don't have a goalie computer, Ramon. I just have a computer with a goalie page. How about that? It is Fedotov. Fettuccine. Pile of shit. The guy should have been bigger than a fucking redwood out there in California. Monster. 7 feet tall. Big dude. Fills up the net. Big tree fall hard, though. 4, 5, and 3. 3.26 goals against average. 87.9% save percentage. He was so big. He took up so much of the net. Everyone was like, oh my God. But coming from the KHL and moving into the NHL, there's a lot of differences there. Speed. I mean, the net's the net. The gear's a little bit different for the NHL, especially goalie pads and stuff. But look, it's just the speed. You know, definitely the best players in the world are in the NHL. And, you know, you want a proof source? Jaromir Jagr's still playing in the KHL. Guy's like 100, maybe 102 this year. I'm not sure. He's still out there playing. But he did play in the NHL, and he set a bunch of records when he was with he was with a bunch of teams out there. But nonetheless, point is, we do see an uptick now in Fedotov. Last game he started, 26 of 28 saves. Can't really go much further down from that 3.26 and 87.9. It's bag of shit status. Call it like you see it. Sorokin, average. I mean, listen to this. This is average. 14, 14, and 4. 500. He's got a couple of overtime losses in there, too. So he wasn't able to hang on and get the win. 2.81 goals against average. You know what we talked about before? We've gone through the scale. You want to be sub 250 just to be average, serviceable, and a 90% save percentage. I mean, that's just average. Nothing about that guy stands out whatsoever. And he's been kind of going back and forth, albeit he has been finding wins. 4 wins in his last 5 starts. Okay. Flyers have won 5 of their last 7. Important to know. Now, first of all, let me take a step back. I'm going to fade this trend. I'll tell you right now, fading this trend. Home teams against the division, and the opponent is on the second leg of a back-to-back. Home team, division, opponents on the second leg of a back-to-back. That's it. That's it. 26-1. It's won 17 straight games. Yeah, write that one down. Home team against the division, opponents on the second leg of a back-to-back. 26-1. 17 straight wins. Now, let me tell you why I'm going to fade that trend. You know, I believe in the hot team factor, the hot city factor. No city's hotter right now than Philadelphia. Eagles got the NFC Championship rolling into town. We'll get to how this affects the Flyers in a minute. Conor McGregor's running all over the fucking town, screaming like a banshee. He's bartending. He's throwing shots around. He's popping off at the mouth. He's talking shit to everybody. It's knuckle mania. In Philadelphia this weekend, they got themselves bare knuckle fighting in town on set, as if they needed any more reason to get jacked up. Now, you don't want to let the city down, right? Can't let the city down. But you know how we talked about the Christmas time frame and the guys getting a couple days off and, nobody's got more money than hockey players. Well, no, that's not entirely true, but hockey players are picking up $5-6 million contracts, but they get a couple days off. This is the Flyers' last game before they play again at home on Monday. And so what do they got going on? They got meet and greets with Conor McGregor. They got Knucklemania. They got the Eagles playing in the NFC Championship. And, yeah, they just took a 6-1 loss to the Rangers, but things are feeling pretty free and loose. They already beat these Islanders, 5-3. Now, you could say, is it a revenge spot? Maybe. But they beat them in New York already. So it's not like they have the detriment of having to go from home to the road. They already show they own that house. They've had a bunch of road games. There's no question about it. But they've been winning. I think it's a bounce back spot here, coming off that 6-1 embarrassing loss yesterday. Despite it being the second leg of the back-to-back, I don't think it matters. Here's the other thing. We talk about the Four Nations Cup. I've talked about it a couple times here, the Four Nations Tournament. Well, guess what? Markstrom's out. Ariston's in. That's now going to be the fourth player from the Flyers to be going and playing in the Four Nations Cup. So when you think about the overall capability and talent of a team, there's only 4 teams. It's 4 nations. They can only have like 20 dudes on a team. So there's 80 players going to play in this tournament, and the Flyers got 4 of them. That's sneaky, under the radar team when it comes to talent. And the European players, the Swiss, the Finnish players, going to be something to take note of. So with all that being said, Eriksson just got the news as well. So, the team's happy. Team's feeling loose. They're feeling pretty damn good about themselves. And it's good enough for me to take the Flyers at a plus 136. I told you I'm fading the trend. I got it. The hot city, though. And the hot city with time off and all kinds of shit going on. To me, that's the deal. Rocky is real. Rocky, not only is he real, he's put out 9 movies. Nathan Smith says, Mikey hoping to take the Iowa Hawkeyes minus 2.5 to the winner's circle. Let's go. Let's go. Andrew Jesus, come on. Fedotov. You guys are on fire. You guys are fired up here about Rocky tonight, huh? They superimposed some Washington gear on the Rocky statue. I lived in Philly all that time. I never saw I don't think I ever saw the Rocky statue. I saw the Liberty Bell a couple times. Never the Rocky statue. And if I did, it didn't leave an impression. Pretty sure I didn't. Anyways, open the card up with a plus money dog. Hot City, baby. Give me the Flyers to get that cash. 7:30 start. Then we got another 7:30 game. And we got ourselves a little Stanley Cup playoff rematch battle. It's important you recognize it when I say that kind of stuff because that's how these teams do approach it. Unfortunately, it's Aiden Hill going in for the Vegas Golden Knights, but fortunately, he's 18-8-3. He's got a 2.61 goals against average and a 90.1% save percentage. Better than what we saw with Sorokin there a minute ago, but not quite where we want him to be. Jake Ottinger on the other side of things, playing pretty phenomenal. I mean, these guys are pretty much in form. You got Hellebuck, Ottinger, and even Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky starting to all get back to their goaltending form of last year. And Ottinger, 23-11-1, 2.26 goals against average, 91.4% save percentage. And they're just running the hot hand. Third straight game for this guy. Only had 19 saves in his last game. It was against Carolina. He is trying to bounce back. I think these good goaltenders do find bad spots, and then they do get bounce back spots. And I mentioned it, second best goalie in the NHL. They're bad games. They're not going to win them all. But we got ourselves a little goaltending battle here. And Vegas, coming off the schneid. They had a 4-2 win over St. Louis their last game. They're starting to feel pretty good about themselves as well. This is playoff contestant right here. You've got these two teams probably battling when it comes down to it Shit, they might even be a first round type of battle, depending on how they obviously close the season out. But nonetheless, I don't expect either of these teams to be wildcard teams. I think that they will see each other in the playoffs. We don't have a ton of movement, but we do have a little reverse movement on the total. And that's where we're going to hammer on this thing here, because we saw it open at 6. Everybody pounded in on the over. Everyone liked the Jover. But I saw Jamie's comment. I have been to the art museum, but I must have gone in the back door. I guess I got to think about it a little bit more. I mean, yeah, listen, we didn't spend a lot of time, my friends and I, going to the art museum. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't our thing. That wasn't our thing. I know where it is. I can point it out on a map. I went and saw a concert. Aretha Franklin and Elton John. The 250-year, wasn't it the bicentennial in Philadelphia? It was a free concert. It wasn't my choice to get out there and check them out, but it was free. So what the hell? And I'm taking the Vegas under 6. What the hell? Playoff matchup. These goaltenders both looking to get themselves in bounce back positions. I like this number. I think it's a great price. And 6s have been kind of the thing. Now, if you want to talk about some deals here as well, look, you do have the restless dog factor. When the opponent's got the second leg of a back-to-back, somehow, and you're the favorite between a minus 130 and a minus 200, it's 10 and 22 to the under. So despite the NBA, where we talk about the second leg of a back-to-back being scorefests, the NHL, not so much. It's more that they play defense and lean on their goaltending than they're going out there flashing and dashing around the ice trying to punk teams and put pucks in the net. And that's kind of goes back and pivots to why I was comfortable with the Flyer spot. Because the Islanders aren't one of those teams. The Islanders are like trying to bring back the trap. The least favorite program that anybody had in the NHL. If you guys ever remember the New Jersey Devils trap, it's like the Islanders, and that's what they want to run. It makes sense. Patrick Waz, the coach, he knows what he knows. I've never seen a zebra change its stripes. I think it's a good under spot. We got a revenge factor as well. When you're on the road, you played the team and gave away the puck a shitload the last time. Shitload defined as over 11 times. Last game, 4 or more goals. You blew your load. You don't want to give the puck away anymore. You play defense. You don't make stupid mistakes. It's 17 and 26 to the under. It's another little bit of incentive to take the Dallas under 6. So we'll take Dallas under 6. I like Dallas. Lots of trend showing Dallas. The line's not really moving. It's kind of oscillating. Plus 130 to plus 133 for Vegas. Minus 158 down to minus 142 for Dallas. Probably, if anything, you're getting Dallas at a better price now than if you took them in the look-at spot. That's how we'll pop this game here right in the face. Let's go on to game number 3 in the NHL. We'll get the Jets and the Yeti. I'm telling you they're going to be the Yeti. I think there's a contractual legal battle going on right now. There's some copyright issues they're dealing with. But, hey, look down. Connor Ingram's back. And that's sometimes a little boost you need to get your team moving in the right direction because they've been scoring. They've been stopping pucks and they've been scoring. Great recipe for a hockey club. 13 and 4 in their last 3 games. Ingram's numbers, he's 8-5 and 3. They're just irrelevant because he's been, he was out, right? He was out early. It is the second leg of a back-to-back. What do we talk about? Back-to-back, second legs. They don't go over. They tend to go under. Hint, hint. Tip, tip. And look, since Ingram's come back, he's allowed 2 or fewer goals in 3 games. Flip side of things, you got Connor Hellebuck. We just talked about him earlier. Vezina, trophy, opportunity. Big game out there. He saves 25 of 27 shots against Colorado. Should be rolling back to this guy. Did allow 4 goals on 27 shots in a 5-2 loss to Utah. So, is it a revenge spot? Kind of, sort of, but both teams have kind of scrubbed each other away. Now the question is, with Utah outscoring teams. Now, we talked about how they kind of went through that lull of not shooting about a month ago. They've picked it back up. Do you want to lay $2.24 to get $1 on the Winnipeg Jets in that situation? No, of course not. It's rhetorical. I understand. So, what do? Well, we try to get the juice down. Let's take them in regulation. Let's take a -1. Maybe we lay the puck line. Well, the puck line's only plus 120. Again, Utah's outscoring teams. I have a feeling if you do that and you approach it that way, you're going to lose everything. The get the juice down play fucking kills everybody every single time. But why? Potentially? Well, maybe it's overtime. And you're screwed. You're hoping the -1's a push. But if we factor in hot goaltending, we factor in the Jets should win this game. Take a couple trends. We'll talk a couple trends. We got the rematch. When the total's a 6 or less, when the total's less than a 6, the under is 3-12-2. I don't know why I'm struggling to R's and M's. The rematch total less than a 6 is 3-12-2 to the under. So 12-3 to the under. 12 of 15 games have gone to the under in a rematch spot. And the home team, with rest, against the division that has no rest. Similar to that Islanders trend, but the fact is they're the home team specifically. 34-5 are those teams. That's the Jets. 34-5. That specific situation, you're rested, you're the favorite, you're playing the division, and you're home with no rest. Has won 13 in a row. 34-5. So yeah, we got to look at some of these rematch spots, but specifically there's two ways to look at them. One is versus divisions, and then obviously out of division is the other side of things. Doesn't work so well out of division, but rest against the division as the home team has been a solid angle. Home cooking, sleeping in your own bed, all the comfort and familiarity of walking from your parking space to the rink, all those little things attribute to big W's out there. Now you can opt in and play it how you want. I like the under 5.5. I like the Jets, and I like it at plus 184. If I get overtime and it's 2-2 and the Jets win, if it goes to overtime and it's 2-2, just know I'm going to be playing the Jets again. It's probably going to be sitting around a minus 125. That's been the formula and recipe of success for me. That's the way I want to attack this game. That's 3 plays, 2 dog prices, and a reasonable spot in that Vegas-Dallas, I think, is a rematch for a Stanley Cup potential out there. So, those are 3 hockey plays. Man, if we can get those 3 popping right off the bat with some nice plus money spots, it's going to be a nice night for the card, my estimation. I got 3 plays in college hoops. Let's talk about them. Let's cue them up. Let's get going here. Now, we don't look at the cash flow and splits as much. And I know I kind of talked about it for you guys with that one game, just in case some of you were, I didn't have a play on it, but some of you might be inclined to play it. In the college hoops arena, and for that matter, the NBA and the NFL. Of course, we want to see what the cash flow is doing. We want that weather vane. We want that litmus test. So it's a little weird. We got Long Island. We got St. Francis, PA. We got everybody betting on Long Island. 99% of the cash, 99% of the bets. Everybody's betting on Long Island. It's the public road dog. And I'm laughing because I shit-talked earlier this week about that. The total's gone from 129.5 down to 127.5. And we have 69% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the over. So we have reverse line movement. We have no movement on the total and everybody betting Long Island. We have reverse movement on the total going to the under. If you're not familiar, the record will show that St. Francis, PA is 7-13. Our 7-13 is 7-13. Our 7-13 on the season. If you don't know, pretty much the only significant win that St. Francis has had as an organization is winning the battle if there was going to be a St. Francis, PA or a St. Francis, NY. And they won the battle. There's a St. Francis, PA. There's no more St. Francis, NY. Outside of that, their club's pretty much a joke. They also just got busted up against Long Island, 64-51. That was in Long Island. They're 5.5-point dogs. They're now 1.5-point favorites. They got busted up 5 days ago, 6 days ago. Busted up. Granted, they were on the road. They played 3 straight road games. This is their first game back after 3 road games. You just got busted up, and you're telling me now that you're home, it's just 7 points for home court? I don't know what the official calculation is, but I know it's not 7 points. I personally don't give a shit that it's the rematch spot a couple of days later because, frankly, if you look at these two teams and the way they roll, I mean, look, they're probably in the worst basketball conference in college hoops, so it's not pretty on either side of things. And when you start looking at their numbers, they kind of get a little skewed because, well, you're playing shit teams. So this isn't one of those iron forges iron situations or steel sharpens steel or whatever that adage is. St. Francis, they're good at threes and they're good at free throws. Because they get one dude that comes in there that has the potential but doesn't want to sit on the bench for a big program. And they're dicey and they can make some free throws at the end. Long Island, however, has a big defense. Strong defense, strong like bull. Long Island covers a shitload of spreads. Long Island has won 6 straight games. Covered spreads like crazy. And because Long Island, coming off of a situation where they just covered, St. Francis, we got ourselves a little buy low situation. Here's the trouble for St. Francis. They're playing a defensive-oriented program or that can play defense. And LIU offense can go out there and splash. Night games, LIU, 17 straight games have gone over the total. Well, if you're playing a strong defense, you're in trouble. If they're going to go out there and splash. And you already got beat down once. And think about that. It was 64-51, way under 130 points. St. Francis PA is in trouble. This is a good Long Island spot. Long Island did make the respected sharp bettor report as well. Big money coming in. Of course, 99% of the bets and 99% of the... I mean, this kind of... It's not for the faint of heart. Let me say that. It's not for the faint of heart. It goes against all the laws of nature. Everybody's betting the public dog and a team that's gone 6 straight wins. I don't understand the calculation. Just looking at the calculation and seeing it was 5.5, they lost, and they're sporting 1.5 means it's 7-point difference from the last game. I don't think home court's worth that much. I think there's an overvaluation here. I think they want you to take that NEC team here in St. Francis, PA. They're only 2-4 in the conference. Not like they're going out there killing guys. They're struggling as much as everybody else. Turkey likes LIU all day. So St. Francis needed double overtime to score 69 in their last game. That's what I'm saying. They're struggling to put points on the board. Now, they do get those free throws, but the backdoor cover ain't going to help them if they're a 1.5-point favorite. Ain't going nowhere with that. We'll take a little LIU action to pop the game off. Pop the top. 2 more games in college hoops. We'll take a little Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land. And Milwaukee, you guys know what I'm talking about. Come on. Do I have it here? I wish I had it in the queue. I'd give it to you guys. Give you a little video clip here on a random afternoon here. But nonetheless, Milwaukee opens up as a 2.5-point road favorite. They've taken action. They've got 56% of the bets and 57% of the cash coming in on Milwaukee. Spread don't care. It's gone from 2.5 down to 2, down to 1.5. North Kentucky is a home doggy. The totals on the climb, it went from 138.5. It parked for a minute at 141.5, so we had a 3-point gain. It's as high as 143s out there now. And we got 71% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the over. Milwaukee Panthers, 14-7. Kind of firing. Kind of coming out firing. I mean, they just took down Wright State. They put up a shitload of points, 95-79. They were lucky to get to 79 Wright State. I mean, Milwaukee pushed that thing, and the total was 154.5. They nuked it, obviously, 95-79. They were dogs. They went on the road into somebody else's barn And they bitch slapped. They played Robert Morris at home, though. 81-79, they lost as 9-point favorites. So you don't know what kind of Milwaukee team you're going to get. And that's kind of where I've been looking at with this conference. Like a couple of years ago, it was automatic overs. Excuse me. It was automatic overs in these conferences, and you could pretty much take it to the bank. But Youngstown State, although Youngstown State just put up almost 95 points earlier today against a D2 scrubber. On the other side of things, North Kentucky takes a beating at home against Wright State. So they're on the back-to-backer, 78-70. They lost that game. They've lost 4 straight games, and yet we have reverse line movement. The spot that got my attention is this total. And North Kentucky was running some unders, especially, as a favorite. 2-7 to the under, 7-2 to the under. At home, 2-9 to the under. Let me go around and fuck up and stuff a big number out there like this. We talked about this a little bit last night. When you see the big number, how does it affect you when you start looking at how these things get rolling and what you're going to do with it? I think it's a bad spot for Milwaukee. The Friday road games for Milwaukee, they've lost 14 straight. 14 straight. And you got reverse line movement. 14 straight. How do you lose 14 straight Friday games? What, are you just checked out for the weekend? You're a shit program, so you're playing on Fridays. A lot. And you're just no good at it. I don't know. Is it travel? I mean, how far can it be to travel from Milwaukee to North Kentucky? Seems like a quick bus ride where the boys are rolling some dice in the back, having a good time. Maybe they're rolling too much dice. Maybe they're playing too many cards. But that being said, I think the reason they're not winning is because their defense isn't traveling. Last 13 conference night games have gone over 143, and I think that's why the books pegged the number where they did in this one. It did make the respected sharp betting report as well. And I got a good number. I felt pretty good about this 141.5. North Kentucky. I bet you North Kentucky wins this game. And if they do, as the dog, it's going to have to go over the total, which puts us in an even better position. We're going to be looking for, 42 to 36 at halftime. Feel pretty good about this spot there. But nonetheless, I think there will be some live betting opportunity for this thing here. But I kind of like the first half over, but I wouldn't be shocked if it goes overtime and then we got a situation where, it's a 2-point spot. The book's kind of concerned. They don't know how to benchmark a line like this. We've got reverse line movement. A team that likes to go under, but give them the extra time. They get all the time on the court to get out there and get this total. It's not like they go out there and splash early. And we see Milwaukee struggles. So it wouldn't surprise me that they're pushing this boulder uphill in that first half. And then things loosen up in that second half, and that's where the total gets into play. That's why I'm going full game in that first half. I've seen some 58s, and then they go to overtime, and all of a sudden they got 160 points on the board. So give me North Kentucky. Give me the over 141.5. That's going to be game number 2. Tarek B likes the under in the Long Island game versus LIU butt spanked them by 14 about a week ago. Yeah, literally butt spanked. They got him good, all right. Last game I got for you guys in college hoops. We'll go Michigan and Purdue. Yeah, we're going to take a battle on a big boy. Still like to get, it's hard to watch slot ball all the time, right? It's like, oh, man. But if you look at the way this card's spaced out, this gives us an opportunity to attack. So we got a pretty heavy early spot. This game pops off at 8 p.m. Our 2 hockey games, 7:30. And, I try to space the card out. I've told you guys my strategy and how I try to attack that stuff before. Michigan pops off as a 3.5-point road doggy. And the public loves their road dogs. 88% of the bets and 81% of the cash on Michigan. There's that differential. Some bigger money sneaking in there on Purdue. All that money coming in on Michigan. The line hasn't moved a cent. Well, it's not true. It's moved a couple cents on the money line, but not on the spread. 3.5 is 3.5 is 3.5. It's 3.5. The total. Kind of a little bit of early movement to the under, and it hasn't done anything since. They've got 62% of the bets and 62% of the cash on the over. It's 151.5, which I thought was a pretty steep number for a Friday night Big Ten battle. But it's come down a half a point. Kinda weather vane this thing here. The wind is blowing in the direction of the under, which I think leads to problems for this Michigan team. Look, Big Ten battle. This is basketball country. We saw yesterday, dogs can go on the road, as we pointed out with Maryland, and get them W's. It don't matter who they're playing. But this is the old spot we love to hammer. You got a Michigan team coming in. They're firing. They're 4-1 in their last 5. They just came off a big win against Northwestern, but not a cover. A win, but not a cover. And what we have with Purdue is 4 days sitting around thinking about how they just lost to Ohio State 73-70. If you don't think the hot city factor applied in that game, then you got another thing coming. Because prior to that, win. Purdue was beating everybody up, slaying the dragon. Ohio State wins the national championship. The next day, Purdue rolls in there, laying a 9.5 spot, and Ohio State slaps them. That's the hot city effect, folks. In its fucking prime and glory, right there. As it relates to that Flyers game that we talked about earlier. And these boys just had to be sitting around stewing. Probably sitting there going, these fuckers won the national championship. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't have beaten us. Yeah, it matters. It matters. Now, take ourselves away from Rainbow Land for a minute. And what we have here is a situation with huge, meaty margin of victories here. Purdue's been crushing at home. Sitting on that loss from Ohio State. Stewing. 26 of their last 27 have been W's at home. They're 10-0. When they're rested as a favorite, and they scored 80 or more points the last game. They're winning those games by 21 points. 21 points. Purdue. Busting teams up in that trend. Michigan. Intersecting 0, anybody? 0-11. When they're in the dog roll, they shot less than 49%, and the team they're playing allows less than 45% shooting. Think about it. Can't win if you can't score. They're not effective at scoring at less than 49% shooting, and the team's allowing less than 45% shooting. Even if you do shoot, you're not making it. And you're getting busted up in those spots by 18.2 points a game. All signs for me jumping in on Purdue. Intersecting 0. Stewing after the hot city busted them up. Are you kidding me? That's a fun spot. I think that's a fun spot for us. I think that's going to be a good casher. I kind of like some parlays. I mean, listen, if you want to take the juice down there and you want to flap in a parlay and, just saying if you were looking at doing a parlay and let's just say hypothetically, you parlay Toledo, Purdue, and Dayton, might be plus 285. Just saying. I took Purdue. That's going to be the way we close off college hoops. Tough NBA card. Super tough. Super trooper. Portland Trailblazers just had that big win last night. We were on them. We got them. We got them here today for sure. This one went from 3.5 up to 5.5. Portland was a road dog. They're down to ones because the Hornets yanked everybody out. 58% of the bets and 62% of the cash. Portland. But keep in mind, it went up to 5.5. It's come back, and it's because of injury factors. So there was a little reverse line movement early. Or not injury, but lineup, right? Fucking NBA soft. Then we see the total's gone from 222.5 down to 216.5. So we got 6 points of droppage, and we have 68% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the over. All of that cash flow did sway things before the game, before the injury news. So it shows now that it was reverse line movement. It isn't. It isn't. I mean, it is in the purest sense of the fact, but it had to do with injuries and players sitting out. You guys talked about it across the board here. And look, these fucking scrubs it. I told you action's tough with this, man. They're slow. They're slow. But yeah, let's just say everybody's out. Let's just say everybody. You guys saw it. You guys are dialed into it. Where'd it go here? The Hornets will start Meechik Smith Jr., Martin Green, and Mark Williams will be their starting lineup. That's why the point spread came down. Now, a couple things to think about with this one. In relation to this one, Charlotte's an under spot at home. What is that? 10 straight unders at home when they're playing shit teams who won their last game as a dog. And that's Portland. Just won yesterday. One of the things that we talked about are how teams are set up to build and play within their conference, play within their division. You see those teams a lot. You got to be ready to stop them. And then when they go outside of their division, that the way they match up in that division and the way they match up out of the division certainly says a lot to themselves. Yesterday we talked about how well they do against the East. Well, guess what? We're back. 11-0 against the spread on the road against the East. If the last time the two teams played, it went under. 11-0. Furthermore, Blazers are hot right now on the road. 6 straight road wins in this thing. What I did, this is where I was saying I'm going to end up beating this line. Make sure you follow me at Mikey Money at BetStamp. You'll get these things as soon as I drop them. I parlayed this son of a bitch together at a plus 269. Take a big swing. And then I saw the line coming in. I deserve it. I deserve it. I got fucked yesterday on it. I deserve it today. I still like it. I don't know about you might have to consider the teaser now. I don't do the basketball teasers, because it's only 4 points. I guess it depends on your book, but it's only 4 points. But the points have come down enough now that if you tease this back up, you're going to still be around those same lines that were dropped out there. I think I've got money on the money line for Portland again. Look, they're a favorite now at DraftKings. 6.5 points. It's a lot of points. I still like it. You know what? If you miss this, obviously you missed this number. Charlotte team total under. I'll tell you what, you could say to make up for this thing because of the situation and the way it is. You could fire. The reason I would say Charlotte team total under. Nobody's playing, and we just talked about their 10-0 under run. So they're not scoring. Is effectively what that says to me in my head. You take Portland on the money line, and you add the total back up to 221. I wonder what that does. Let me look here. I don't want to be one of those guys look, I did beat the line. I did. I only beat it an hour ago though, so it's not like wasn't like I played it last night. Now you guys are all fucked trying to follow it. Let me see here. We'll take that. We'll take the money line. We'll pop 221.5. So the money line with the Blazers and the 221.5 goes to plus 192. And then this is just a simple, quick look. I'm not looking at multiple books at this point. I'm just looking at DraftKings because it's open. And team prop under 107.5 for the Hornets. There you go. 206. That's how I would strike it. If you guys missed this number, if you can't get this number, use this number as a frame of reference if you're looking to live bet, though, because these are where the numbers were prior to those injury news. But the Blazers money line, the under 221.5, and the Charlotte Hornets team total under 107.5 is a plus 206. Probably got to look at Mark Williams to do something. Someone's got to score for the Hornets. Although we saw the Nets had that 67-pointer the other day. But there's a little impromptu way to make that thing up. And then last but not least, last game on the card here in the NBA and for us on a Friday night are the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know what to say. The Sixers are bad. Clearly. Respectively. I don't think they've won in their last 9 games. Maybe once. And the Cavs, look, this line, I'll tell you what, we'll start with the line. It opened at 9.5. It's moved down to 9s. 59% of the bets and 54% of the cash. The total's gone from 228.5 to 229 and now 229.5. You have 83% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over, and it's gone over. It's moving on up. Moving on up. Pinnacle's got a 9 with the best price out there. So for some of you guys that have that belief system that Pinnacle is one of the sharper books, kind of looks like they're shading a little to the Sixers, if you believe in that sort of thing. I have breaking news. It is no longer FanDuel with the best number that has been crushing our books. FanDuel has regressed. They're back to the means. Probably in part because they're missing earning expectations because they were getting trounced by teasers and parlays. They no longer are the sharp book in that regard. I think it was Fanatics now that's kind of got me in a pickle. Got me over the barrel, so to speak. But look, yeah, Cleveland, best team in the NBA. Okay, what are you going to say? They did just lose, so they should have revenge on their mind. It was Houston. It was 109-108. We were on Houston in that game. So we got that. We kind of nailed that spot right between the eyes. And the Sixers keep losing. They're losing disgracefully. They played Denver in Denver, 144-109. Busted up. Milwaukee, 123-109. Indy, 115-102. The Knicks, 125-119. OKC, they're losing. They're losers. Now, you know damn well I just talked about how passionate I am in my belief system for the hot city. Does that mean I'm going to go say they're dogging? No, they're 0-8-1 in their last 9. But Cleveland, not covering spreads. 0-10 versus the conference when the spread's less than 16 after a game that was lined between the threes. Remember we talked about the threes with Cleveland? When it's +3 or -3 or somewhere in between and the books don't know who's going to win? We talked about it. That was one of the reasons why we faded Cleveland. They don't win when they're in that spot. And what this one says is after a game where the books didn't know where to mark them, as long as they're not marked as a huge favorite, they're still not covering the spread. Are the Sixers a live dog? I can't imagine so. In fact, I hope not, because I got a same game parlay that says they're not. But I went to the under. I went to the total. I got 229. Hot City. Just don't let him go out there and score 200 points on you. And we got this thing in the bag. I couldn't get myself in the Hot City formula to fade Cleveland or to fade Philadelphia, knowing that less than an eighth of a mile away from where they're playing, less than a 16th of a mile away from where they're playing, the NFC Championship. It's right across the street. The lights will be on. They'll probably still have some fireworks popping off tonight. It's going to be crazy. I just can't take it to fade. I mean, it should be a Cleveland spot. I'll be damned if I'm going to take a shot with them in the hot cities trend here, but I got the under. I'll take the under 229. That's going to put the bow on the show, boys and girls, right at 6:59 on the dot. KD says Maxey points over. Maxey rebounds under. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Some of the player props for me that I took in this game were I guess you guys are looking for some player props. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Paul George over 4.5 assists. Garland over 6.5 assists. Maxey under 3.5 rebounds were 3 big spots I wanted to get involved with. And if you put Cleveland minus 9.5 and the under 228.5 together, and that it's a plus 25.50 same game parlay. So do with that information what you will. Let's see what you guys have to say. Texas Cavs has a look ahead spot tomorrow against Houston. Cavs first half. That's a nice little shout out. Is that the nasty Nate giving us the cocktail sign? Christian says that's sports money. Do you hedge by putting these books in your portfolio? That would be a heavy chess move by none other. Well, I track them. I track them by where I'm placing the action. So I told you guys yesterday, there's only maybe, let's say only, I don't know, there's maybe 8 or 9 books that I have in my repertoire that I will fire away on. So when I see the stack ranking, we're up 40 units we're up 38 units, a little over 38 units. The best book for me so far, since we started tracking, since we put the official tracking in place at the end of November, 12 units at BetMGM, almost 9 units at FanDuel. Worst book. Why can't I see it here? Oh, here we go. Fanatics, worst book. Down 6.5 units at Fanatics. So when Fanatics has, let's see if I have any Fanatics action tonight. It's kind of fun to see that stuff. You know, it's something you should certainly be mindful of. We were using that to influence us back a year ago when FanDuel had some of the best numbers out there. Yeah, sometimes I influence myself because I'll pay up an extra penny or two just not to have Fanatics in the book at this point. But no, I don't have any Fanatics gas going tonight. Did I have any Fanatics gas going last night? Yep. Chicago Bulls +2 lost. Illinois -7 lost. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a real thing. It's a real thing that you have to pay attention to. So, yeah, but you're not playing basketball and hockey. You know, you're kind of playing some of the non-traditionals, right? You're talking soccer and UFC. Like the mainline sports, the ones that everybody, you know, kind of follows into are clearly, you know, NBA, college basketball, even the NHL and the NFL in college. You know, so beating them on 9.5 corners because they have the best price for a soccer game makes sense. And there's not a lot of action coming in on it, so they have a tough time indexing and benchmarking it. But they have some sharp books. And you know, I think a lot of that has a lot, just side note, and I know we're kind of just spitting some philosophy here amongst some friends. I think smaller books that, you know, that don't have the volume or market share that you see with the DraftKings and FanDuel, they do have the ability to influence the market and the outcome. They'll draw more attention to a game they want to get a price tag on because they got unbalanced action on the other side of it. And so when they do have the best number, the reason you're taking the loss is because they enticed you. You ate the cheese from a smaller book that has a little bit more ability to make that move, in my opinion. You know, DraftKings and FanDuel, as they've grown over time, I don't believe they care as much about balancing the books as much as using their algorithm process to make sure that it works out. So I think that's just a little something to keep our eyes on as we move forward. But yeah, you definitely want to keep track of that stuff. You guys want to know exactly where you placed it so that you can go back and see, are you winning? Are you losing? You know, and how do you bring it all to the bank at the end? Because it's something to watch out for. So Fanatics is on our radar for potential shit list. Maybe we'll see what the Capitals do here. And they did just come up with a W. They did just get our under. Maybe they become a spot where Fanatics gets itself placed right onto the map. Who knows? That's going to do it for us, though. You guys, appreciate everybody rocking. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Look for some content here at Sports Money. Of course, Ramon Scott will be popping tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., giving you guys the morning steam. He's running so hot. He's Ramon Scott. We'll pop some videos out there for you guys for some footy action, some NFL action, and some members-only action as well. So make sure you guys do take the opportunity to get them upgrades, and you're not going to want to miss out, especially when we don't have any pre-described or predefined shows coming up here. So we appreciate all you guys rocking. I do hope you have a great weekend. Good luck with your action, unless you're against me. And then I hope I win. Thank you guys all. Appreciate it. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis, blow, flow, fuck.